It's tough out there, guys. I know you're like, should I leave the house with my Lamborghini or my Ferrari? And that's what we're doing today is we are looking at the Atlas Erebus versus the Atlas Apollo. Welcome back to the Humble Marksman channel, guys. I'm David. This is the Atlas Erebus and this is the Atlas Apollo. Going to be putting these guys side by side through a couple different tests, recoil, management, stability. We're going to look at what that means on paper, what it means on steel at different distances, and obviously finish up with a little bit of accuracy testing because this has got a ported barrel where this has a compensator, and this is from the factory, YouTube. These are totally stock. These were sent to me, just for full disclosure, by Atlas Gunworks. These are on loan, and I do have a bit of a surprise for you, but you're going to have to stick around to the end to see what that is. But first, I do want to give this crisp high five to the dads in the audience and honor you with this joke. What do you call facial hair that grows on cows? A moustache. That's for the little ones out there. I'm excited about these two guns. Let's get into it and see what happens. All right, so that thing barely moves around. The ports work really, really well. I'm very surprised. I haven't shot the other guns yet. This is the first one that I'm shooting, so that's pretty cool. Erebus has a better grip, so it probably is gonna assist in keeping the gun low. Let's find out. That's also very silly. It's a very different feeling from the Apollo, but it's, I would say, pretty similar. It's a little faster feeling because the slide's a bit shorter. I'm not sure where I land on it, honestly. I'm not sure which one I like better. That was with really good Buffalo Creek 115 ammunition. Let's try it with really bad AAC 124 ammunition and see how it goes. Super crazy ammunition. All right, that is definitely more pop to that ammo. It is very loud. Like it feels like almost 9 major, like I need better hearing pro. Wasn't a problem with the proper range load, but this stuff, which should not be as loud because it's 124 versus 115, is louder. Don't buy AAC ammo, guys. Just don't do it. Let's try Mr. Erebus now. The Erebus, I think, handles the spicier ammo a little bit better than did the Apollo. It's actually, with the very spicy ammo, it's noticeable, I will say. I think the comp for spicier ammo does work better. So let's see what Mr. Apollo can do for us on a 10-yard target with just doubles. Okay, those two don't count. All right, that felt really good. 2 of those are going to be dead nuts in the middle. So just to give Mr. Erebus the benefit of the doubt, here we go. Okay, there's 2 in the middle, just like the other one. All right, let's look at it again. All right, the Erebus was coming down a little bit higher, but I would say they're pretty comparable as far as how it went. I was expecting the Erebus with the fancier grip to bring it back to the center a little bit better, but what I saw was that my skill is not there to make it do that. So there's that. Alrighty, I've got this Shooter's Global timer, which is honestly super awesome. They just updated this thing and it is very loud now. The beep is super loud and it can use spy mode in matches to get telemetry for what your draw, your splits, your transitions are. It's really cool. But anyway, I'm gonna use this to get some basic shot timer stuff. I've got 4 steel plates and I'm in about 15 yards. We'll go with Mr. Apollo first. Let's see what we can do. Where's a good aiming rock? There's my aiming rock. All right, so I ended up duffing quite a few shots there. It's a 743. Not sure where those went. I'm not used to that trigger. It's a great trigger, but there is something to be said for getting kind of used to it. Now, the reason this is a good test is guns don't swing the same. The EREBUS is longer and has a barrel weight out front. It's a little bit heavier than the Apollo, just a little bit based off the grip that it's got. So we're going to see how, if at all, it affects how the gun swings. Yeah, the EREBUS just feels more stable. I mean, it's a little bit longer, but it's just got more heft to it. And that was a 426. We'll give a redemption run to Mr. Apollo and see how that is going to do. That's a 455. That last shot was a 29 to do the makeup on the called miss. So I do still feel like the EREBUS is a little bit more stable in how it's swinging, but it's not a mega difference. Okay, we're back at 25 yards with my steel plates. I'll let the EREBUS go first this time. Let's see how we do. All right, it's a 6.66 with 3 makeups. Not amazing, not my best work. Mr. Apollo. All right, for some reason that felt way better. 551 with no makeup. Took definitely more time lining up those shots. I feel like Mr. EREBUS needs a redemption run to see what it's capable of, not just me screwing it up. All right, let's see if Mr. EREBUS can get his act together. And by Mr. EREBUS, I mean me. I don't know what it is. Even with 2 runs, and it was 611. What I'm finding out is there's not a huge difference. Like, I thought the grip was going to make a bigger difference at 25, but it doesn't appear to be. Honestly, like, I felt like I had more control over the Apollo at 25, which is strange. Very strange. All right, 25 yards. We'll shoot Mr. EREBUS first. The zero's a little squirrely on these. These aren't my guns. The zero's hitting close enough, so look for grouping, don't look for precision. Yeah, it's hitting high and left. Mr. Apollo. That's hitting high and right. Okay, so with the EREBUS, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's pretty close. It looks like it's about, I don't know, mean point of impact's probably about 1.5 to 2 inches left, so that's what I need to get in on the zero. It's pretty good, but if we go over here and look at the Apollo, you see something else too. On the Apollo, the zero was off a little bit too, but it was about 2 inches high and about 1 inch right. But if you look at the hits, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The grouping is what I would say is very comparable to the EREBUS. Despite having the ports, there's no degradation in accuracy, at least as I'm able to mechanically exploit the gun. Maybe an arrest to tell a different tale, but I'm very pleased with what the Apollo's accuracy is looking at 25 yards.
But wait! There's more!
Honestly, it feels very similar to the EREBUS. The grip on the EREBUS is better, so it felt more connected, but as far as the actual slide moving, I would say that it's very, very similar. I hate to say it, but I think the staccato with the stupid high pressure ammo is a little bit more stable, even though like there's nothing about this gun that feels better in hand than the EREBUS. In fact, everything on the EREBUS feels better. The beaver tail feels better. The shape of the safeties feels better. The grip feels better. I mean, the Hero grip's a nice grip, but it just is not as nice as the Atlas grip. Like the Atlas grip just feels nicer. Here comes Mr. XC at the 10-yard bill drill. Let's see how it goes. That honestly felt really good. We'll see how it shook out next to the other guys, but he got the benefit of going last. Here we are at 15 yards. That's a 405. Now, clearly I'm going to get better with practice, so it's not a meaningful difference. I could load up the EREBUS and do the exact same run again. But it moves very similar to the EREBUS. 575. Feels about the same with the good ammo. Feels just in recoil a little bit the same. See, I was not as stable with. I had two that I pushed to the right or pulled to the right. Got 1, 2, 3 right there, pretty much straight down from it. That's pretty good accuracy. I think that the XC probably is similar accuracy to what the Atlas is getting, but that kind of speaks to the contour of the Atlas grips and how they're awesome, and the Atlas triggers on how that is. But I mean, keep in mind, my day today, I shot 2 different open guns, just kind of testing that out. And then I'm shooting these 3 different guns that are all a little bit different. So there is a lot to say for fluency and what you get used to. All of these are very accurate pistols. So there's that. All right. So Apollo or EREBUS, which way are we going here? For my money, if I were buying one of these guns, I think the EREBUS kind of fits more into what I like to do with a gun that's like this, something that is just a amazing range gun, something that, I mean, the grip and being able to set up the grip how you want it to, the just overall feel and machining of the gun is excellent. And I just, I find that I like the EREBUS more, and I think that's really important at this price point when you're potentially spending all of the money. Now, that's not to say that the Apollo isn't brilliant, because it absolutely is. The Apollo is incredible in its own right. I like pretty much everything about the Apollo as well. It just has a couple different things that aren't as bonkers, because like my role for a pistol like this is a range toy that is just absurd, and is absurd on, like, it's like a Lamborghini, like we said at the beginning. And I just feel like the EREBUS is a little bit more Lamborghini-y, and like some of the small attention to detail type stuff, the grip is different than it is on the EREBUS. The magazines that it comes with, the EREBUS comes with the competition style magazines, whereas the Apollo just comes with their basic magazines with kind of the duty floor plate type extension. They're the same mag tubes ultimately, but I just like the trim of the, you know, USPSA style magazine a little bit better versus this tube. So just those small things matter when you're getting into something that is that nice. Even just the aesthetic of the bonkers of the compensator kind of extending out over the front just is what I'm here for. Like, that's what I want. There's no front sight on this. Like, it is just a compensated red dot gun. They shoot pretty much the same, which is a mega endorsement of the Apollo. I would not feel bad if I were shooting like IDPA, presuming you can fit an EREBUS in the box. I haven't tested that, but I would not feel bad at all shooting this in IDPA. In fact, I would think the gun handling, because it's a little bit more compact, is going to be a little bit nicer out of the Apollo. It just handles more like a traditional gun, whereas you've got the compensator at the front of the EREBUS. It makes gun handling just a little bit different. Like, you can get used to it, but you can use the same gun handling with a non-compensated gun as you would with the Apollo. Now, as far as how Mr. XC sort of slots in, and Mr. XC is a few $1,000 less, the best thing I can say is liking it to a barbecue restaurant. Those of you who are in Texas know what I mean when where I'm going with this. You can only make a brisket that's like so good, right? And you go to one place and they both make great brisket as the other place, but one place has everything else is done nicer. The vibe is cooler. The sides are cooler. The beer is colder. Those kinds of things. Like, the brisket's really good with the Staccato XC. It is excellent in its own right, meaning that if you shoot the gun, you're going to get a lot of the same feeling when you're shooting the gun. In fact, like, as it shoots very comparably to the EREBUS, I would say. But I don't like the safeties as much. I don't like the grip as much. It doesn't have the backstrap kind of things. It doesn't come with the competition style mag tubes that I would like it to have. I don't like the trigger shoe as much. The trigger job is not as good. So like, it's just a collection of small details that makes the Atlas kind of stand apart from the XC, although functionally the XC does pretty much everything that the Erebus could do. So that was just something I was curious about, because like, how much more bonkers can you make a gun than an XC? And I mean, it's all in the fine details is really where it sort of shakes out. So there you go.